loads in that. Okay. So what time is it? Ooh, not even 8 o'clock yet. So look. Okay. Just wait a couple of minutes, guys and girls. Alright, guys, I did. Just wait a couple of minutes until people are in, at least. Try and get a few people in. Yeah, I'm only going to go live for a little bit. Probably 20 minutes or something. God, it's done a lot of dialogue. Alright, so I'm working on some stories at the moment, guys and girls. Some really good stories. Alright. Alright, guys. Alright, alright. And on. Just go here a minute. Okay. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna start anyway. So I've been sort of using Chat GPT, and that's a great thing, guys and girls. Oh, you're right, Gravisi, how you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome. So I've been using this new AI thing, and I think it's very, very clever in how they actually rephrase things or actually create a story for you. And I think that in one way, this is going to probably get rid of a lot of these like people doing books and stuff with the AIs and stuff like authors. But then again, I think in one way, it could actually create more authors in a sense because obviously the information you're creating is based on what other people puts in there. So if I put something in there, so for instance, we've got the title, The Case of the Missing Bone. It's a murder mystery, and I've put down 6 characters. Got Gately, the dog, who everyone loves. Gately's owner, Katie Waffles. Then we've got Detective Brandon in there as well. And then we've got Ed the gardener. And then we've got Anthony Lawrence, which is my character, the swimsuit model, basically. I'm the swimsuit model. And then we've got Detective like Columbo in there and stuff. And these characters, and I've put basically to add the dialogues with it as well. And it's like, it's very, very like clever in the way it can create a story out of just the simple words that you put in there. And obviously, I've created a location as well, and added like a location and the name of a location on it. So basically, let's have a look. Okay, right. So, and also, if it's incorrect on this AI, it says, "Oh, my apologies for the mistake in previous response. Here's the revised text version of it." So it does a revised text version, so it can change the words. It's not 100% sort of like able to create it, because it says it's not there to actually create the story. Obviously, you got to piece the whole story together and come up with the ideas and the solutions. And it came up with a few different ideas, and I kind of changed a lot in there because I wanted it to fit the story and stuff. Um, so this story is basically about Gately's missing bone and how it's like the bones disappeared, but then it leads into a murder and stuff, and then like a who done it sort of thing. So, and then basically Detective Brandon comes into it. Then you've got Detective Lieutenant Columbo comes into it. So you can actually add these like names, and then it creates like a scenario for the situation. And it's very clever at what the AI is doing and stuff. So it knows if you made a mistake, or if it made a mistake itself. Like it thought at the start that there was 3 characters, but what it didn't tell it is, because it said like I put down Anthony Lawrence. That's like one person's name. It thought it was 2 people, and I said no. Anthony and Lawrence is the same person. Lawrence was his last name. And then it started correcting itself and said, "Oh yes, I'm sorry, it's done the wrong thing." So it actually calculates where it's made mistakes, and it remakes the actual story into the version that you want it to be. So it's very clever indeed. You alright, Mr. Mike? How's it going, my friend? Oh, you alright, Shannon? Do you know what? I don't know. It's just it's been flaring up a lot. So I don't know why the nose has been flaring up. It's like a rash or something around the nose and stuff. Going great over there. Oh, it's good to hear, man. Friend, how's everybody else today? Now, usually with my nose and stuff, it flares up quite a lot around there. And also, because I've been wearing the PlayStation VR headset too, it's been going onto the bridge of the nose, and because of the plastic, what it's doing, it's slightly cut in the nose. So it's like, it's quite heavy at the front. I don't know why, it's just very heavy at the front. The first one was bad, but this one's just like completely even worse now. It's like it cuts around the nose there, because I don't know if you can see where it's like bruised up around the nose. I think it's something to do with the VR headset, and it's where the nose bit goes into it. So I'm gonna have to get something like another cover to go inside it. So yeah, it's one of those things. I'm only on for a little bit because I don't want to use too much of my credit, because I'm actually using my 4G at the moment. I've got about 40 gigs on there, I think, of data. So I'm sort of just doing a video basically on the story that I've created and stuff. oh, you should do a story about GTA Revenge. Do you know what I was thinking about that? But we've got a better story on here. How the character Ed ends up getting bashed over the head and stuff, and someone ends up poisoning him. And it's like an interesting story. It's like one of those who done it, but with Columbo in it. So where is it? Where is that? If I can find it, because I've actually had to go down the whole dialogue. It's done a whole dialogue, like the whole story and stuff. It's basically about this character, Ed the gardener, who's basically been pissing off loads of people. He's been annoying everybody, basically, in the neighbourhood and stuff. Anyway, Lawrence, so Anthony Lawrence, the swimsuit model, me, basically, the swimsuit model, has a confrontation with Ed. And somewhere along the lines is because Ed the gardener, he's doing the gardening and stuff. No, Ed the gardener, he's out doing all his gardening. Lawrence comes in and basically tramples all over his garden at midnight and stuff when he doesn't expect it. So he goes there, and the next morning he's like woke up, his whole garden's all a mess. And then he calls the police and stuff about these gardens sort of messed up, and he knows who it is because he had a confrontation with Lawrence in the pub while they're having a drink and stuff. So basically, it was a typical day at the Bonemouth Kennels in New Jersey. Gately, the beloved dog, was playing fetch with his owner, Katie Waffles, while Anthony Lawrence, the swimsuit model, was taking a swim in the pool. Ed the gardener was tending to the flowers, and Detective Brandon was observing the scene, taking note of every detail. Suddenly, Detective Columbo arrived on the scene. He'd been called in to investigate the disappearance of a bone that belonged to Gately. The bone was rumoured to be worth a fortune, and that's what they've put in, is basically and stuff. And I kind of, near the end, I've kind of changed over the whole dialogue on it. And all six of the main characters were suspects in the case. So, and this was like, now this is the middle part of it. Columbo began his investigation by interviewing each of the characters, or the suspects. It started with Katie Waffles, who was visibly upset by the disappearance of Gately's bone. I don't know who could have taken it, she said, tears welling up in her eyes. Gately loved that bone, and I would never want to hurt him. That's like what she was supposed to say. Next, Columbo interviewed Brandon, who seemed to be hiding something. I've seen the way you look at Gately, he said, eyeing the detective suspiciously. I wouldn't be surprised if you took the bone just to get close to him. I'm like, but this is what is kind of written. This is like some of the stuff, and then like I had to kind of change the dialogue, so it went in a different direction by the end of it. I'm still not quite finished it yet. Ed the gardener claimed that he'd been working in the flower beds at the time of the disappearance and had seen nothing. Anthony Lawrence, the swimsuit model, had been swimming laps and was also unaware of what had happened. Finally, Columbo turned his attention to Gately himself. The dog barked and wagged his tail, seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation. As Columbo continued to investigate, he discovered that the bone had been stolen by a gang of notorious thieves. Now, the thing is, I didn't really want it that ending, so I kind of changed the ending of it. And then it kind of said, oh, as Columbo closed his investigation. But I kind of changed it a little bit, and I put down, let's introduce each of the characters. First, Katie, the grad student and skilled in looking after the kennels, and fell in love with her dog, Gately, that she got at a nearby kennels. Now, I kind of changed that. And then it said, absolutely, here's an updated version. It said, it was a typical day at the Bonemouth Kennels in New Jersey. Katie Waffles, a graduate student skilled in looking after the kennels, had been fallen in love with her dog Gately, who she had gotten at a nearby kennels. Gately was playing fetch with Katie, and while Anthony Lawrence, the swimsuit model, was taking a swim in the pool, Ed, the gardener, was tending to the flowers, and Detective Brandon was observing the scene. Now, it still keeps that in there, and I kind of any more podcasts coming with the old crew? Maybe, I'm not too sure yet. Oh, yeah, Holly Adam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we got Detective Brandon, a loyal detective, always works on by the book. So, great idea. It says an updated version, so they updated the whole story. Suddenly, Detective Columbo arrived on the scene. He'd been called in to investigate the disappearance of the bone that belonged to Gately. The bone was rumoured to be worth a fortune, and all 6 of the main characters were suspects in the case. And then I got to the point where I thought I needed to add basically someone getting killed. Now, for some reason, with this AI thing, it says, "Oh, we don't want to put any violence in it. We can't put any violence in it." Well, it wasn't violence in the actual. Oh, you like my pink curtains? Nice. Yeah, yeah. I've got these. I think these silk ones. They're quite nice. Cost me, I think it was like 45 quid on Amazon. So I'm sort of just trying to. Yeah, I mean, I like the pink stuff on it. But yeah, I'm going to be sort of hopefully back live streaming, hopefully sometime this week after 8 months, because I've not really been sort of like live streaming for a long time. And it's all because of my internet. And then someone said to me, why don't you use the 4G on your phone and stuff? So that's what I'm using at the moment to go live and do like some live streams. But you can't really use that to do gaming stuff because that'd just eat up the data and stuff on. And I got about 50 gigs, 40 gigs of data, so I don't know how much it's going to take from doing this live stream. So, oh, you want them, yeah. Yeah, so what I've done at the moment with my internet, I've got a new one coming in, supposed to be sometime this week, getting installed, and it's going to be up to about 300 meg down and 300 meg upload. So hopefully I can upload like tons and tons of videos and all of that. So should be good. Anyway, how you doing anyway, Holly? You been all good? Anyway, it was a typical day at the kennels. So a graduate student skilled in looking after the kennels had been falling in love with her dog Gately, who she had gotten at nearby kennels. Gately was playing fetch with Katie, while Anthony Lawrence, the 3-time world diving board champion, that's what I put down. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. And also, I mean, I sort of just been doing my own thing from now on. Stuff like um, I do my YouTube channels and all my videos and stuff. And like, to be honest, like with that other geezer, it would have been just all right just to have been watching his channel, not getting involved with it and stuff. But in one way, for me, that was more forced me and stuff for trusting people like him and stuff. So now that I'm sort of like just doing my own thing and just like I'm just gonna keep, I think from now on, rather than just doing like other shit, I'm just keeping myself to myself. So like rather than, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because my audience seem to like that when I'm just doing stuff myself on my channel. So that in one way for me, I can start doing more stuff then for my audience. Yeah, no, I don't have any bad words either for him. I mean, like, obviously, if he wants to go around manipulating people and stuff and that, fair dues to him and stuff and all that. But I mean, if he's got everyone brainwashed into that and stuff, fair dues to him. He knows how to like wind people up and stuff, and well, at the end of the day, it's his choice what he does on his channel. Um, but Oh, yeah, join the Discord. Yeah, definitely need to join the Discord. You're right, Western Superman. How do you, man? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, so anyway, I've got to get to this bit because this is really good. You're gonna like this because when you know me, like I've said before, like I said, oh Ed, he was a gardener. So we've done a little story with Ed in it and stuff, but with as the gardener and stuff. So we've got it kind of, it's like a Columbo style thing, but um, oh, that's good to hear, man. Yeah, but I watch him from time to time. I'm not gonna sort of lie that as shit and say, oh, I don't watch him because I do watch him and stuff. But then as it's like he's got everybody by the balls, or he thinks he's got everybody balls because he's getting them to pay and shit. And then he's like one of those teachers, you know, there's like teachers at school. Like if one person f's up, right, everybody f's up. And that means everybody's the bad guy and stuff. So then he's gonna punish everybody because of that stuff. And I think it's just like a person just playing kids games, really, childish games and stuff. But fair dues to him if he wants to do that and stuff and play children's games. Just trying to find this bit like I've got up to. Right, it was a typical day at the Bournemouth Kennels. Kaylee Waffles, a graduate student skilled in looking after the kennels, had fallen in love with her dog Gately, who had gotten at the nearby kennels. Gately was playing fetch, and then Anthony Lawrence, the three-time world diving board champion from Alabama and a swimsuit model, was taking a swim in the pool. Ed the gardener had been moved into the area a few weeks before, was tending to the flowers and had an argument with Anthony Lawrence over the weeds in his garden. Is it like, yeah, no, I know. I remember that. I remember you saying that. I've not really got it in for anybody actually. Like on there, like people want to go and see him and stuff, or they want to sort of talk to him. That's up to them. I decided not to because sort of stand by my sort of self on that to not interact with the guy. If he wants to do whatever he wants to do, let's let him get on. If his channel will actually fall at some point, and then obviously you fuck up and someone will say something to him, or we say something to someone, and then his channel will probably end up getting taken down anyway. So, I mean, it only just takes that one person to get told something, which then sparks a fuse on some dynamite, and then his channel just goes kapoof. And then basically he's got his own self to blame on that and shit. To me, it's like what I find on his channel is he keeps moaning about people keep trolling his channel, and then you think to yourself, well, yeah, boom. But then there's like people troll me on my channel. I've got people fucking trolling me on my channel. I could care less whether they're like trolling me or not. Um, but do I actually block them? No, hell no. Do you know why? Because in that way, I'm using them, so they're gonna give me the views, and then that way, like with the trolls, they're doing me a favor because they're giving me all these views and stuff. So in one way, they're the actual ones who are doing me the favor. If they think actually that they're trying to piss me off in one way, they're not. Oh, well, I couldn't log into my other account, so I had to make a new one. Yeah, I know. Because I've noticed like he's been blocking everybody as well. I've noticed this on his channel. He's been blocking more people. I've been told by other people on my list. They've been sending me messages that Ed's been blocking them. For just asking about a game and stuff. And then he basically just blocks them for just asking simple questions. That's the thing. I don't know what his mind's like or anything, or if he's got some mental health issues going on or something. But must have a big block list, bigger than friends list. Oh yeah, probably does. Yeah. Oh. So what I've done is I've done Detective Columbo, right? It's his 80th birthday. And he's basically in retirement for his birthday. And he's just got this new sort of job that he's basically got to solve now, his new mystery, missing bone. And he's trying to find it and find out who the suspects are. But before his 80th birthday, he would thought he was going to be retired, but they just brought him out of retirement. Sure, everyone's going to say, sure thing, here's an updated version of the thing. So it goes on about the kennels. Detective Brandon, a loyal detective who also worked by the book, was observing the scene, taking the note of every detail. Suddenly, Detective Columbo arrived on the scene. He was a bit of a legend in the police department, known for his unconventional approach to solving crimes despite his unassuming appearance and tendency to appear disheveled. Columbo was one of the best detectives in the department. Yeah, well, he was actually, because, I mean, if you think about it, oh, you're right, Brandon, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Oh, yeah. So what I've done is made you Detective Brandon on here, so I've added you as a detective. And also you're solving some crimes as well. But today was a special day for Columbo. It was his 80th birthday, and he had been announced his retirement. He had been called in to investigate the disappearance of a bone that belonged to Gately. The bone was rumoured to be worth a fortune, and all 6 of the main characters were suspects in the case. So it got to the point. So I put down Katie was at the kennels with Gately. 6 p.m. when all of a sudden Detective Columbo arrives to talk to Gately about his missing bones. Seeming Gately was only a dog. He couldn't talk only but wag his tail and bark in a gentle, loving way, and he was happy to see Columbo. And I put down add some dialogue to it, so the dialogue to the characters start talking. And it's like, what you can do is you can add the dialogue, and it makes it feel like the actual characters are communicating between each other. Now, I don't read books myself. I don't like reading books, because I can't sort of read or write and stuff with my dyslexia. I can read and write a little bit, but it gets confusing. So I'm glad they've got this like AI thing, this chatopenai.com, which is ChatGPT, which is free to use. And it's amazing at what you can do on it. Yeah, I like the story as well, and I didn't even expect it to be as this long. It's like nearly 50, 60 pages long. Oh yeah, definitely went too far, man. I mean, I saw that as well. What he had said to you, Mike, and shit, like, and that really fucking like pissed me off and shit. Because I know what you were trying to say, Mike, and I knew you were trying to do it in a respectful way to Brendan. But I think with Ed, he got a bit wrong in that way. And obviously, we want Brendan to actually, like, make up his own mind of what he wants to buy and stuff and have his own choices. We don't want to sort of, like, be the influencers and just influence him in buying stuff. Like, if I buy, like, a VR headset, I'm not going to say to people, oh, go right. I'll say to people, it's a good headset, and if you want to get it and stuff. I'll recommend it to you, but I'm not going to say to people, oh, because I've just bought it, now you should buy it and stuff, and all that. Oh, you should buy this or you should buy that. If a person say has got money and they've got enough money and they want the headset and stuff, or if they need it, maybe they're doing projects like me. I'm going to be doing some videos in a couple of weeks once my YouTube channel's back up. I'll do some like reviews on some games. Me doing my videos on YouTube, I definitely need the headset so I can actually do reviews on it and do games reviews. But obviously, there's a thing where I've got to try and see what I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be reviewing in that sense and stuff. And I mean, so far, to me, the headset was worth buying for, especially for like the not Forza, for Gran Turismo and stuff. And it's really good. But anyway, getting to the story anyway, here's an updated version. So I kind of updated it a little bit so that it would add some more context. Right, so So Columbo goes, "Excuse me, miss, but is this Gately?" Columbo asked, gesturing towards the friendly dog, wagging his tail. "Yes, he is," Katie replied, looking confused. "Is there something wrong, detective?" "I'm afraid there might be, miss," Columbo replied gravely. "It is about Gately's missing bone. We are investigating a theft that happened earlier today, and we needed to ask Gately a few questions." Ooh, and was it? Do you like my drawing of the courage, the cowardly dog? Does anyone remember that from the Cartoon Network? Ooh, hang on. I don't know. I've heard of the courage, the cowardly dog. I mean, I don't know. It's like it seems familiar or sounds familiar. I hadn't seen for maybe probably in years. I hope you can get your internet soon. We can see gameplays of VR. Yeah, it'd be good as well because I've been playing that shoot 'em up game as well. Um, Online and stuff, and been having some like fun on there. I've got a few videos on there as well. Was this Ed had all this theories of me going for him, and I was Mac because of Ed for him. Oh, and I was just having more cars on GT7 and all kinds of different theories. Me playing $2 a month, so I'm no member and I can't have an opinion. Yeah, well, that's saying you should be allowed to have an opinion and stuff. Like anybody can have opinions and stuff. He just likes to like not have people having opinions on his channel and stuff. So the whole Ed book is closed for me. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Katie looked puzzled, but Gately is a dog detective. He can't talk, only bark and wag his tail. Then Columbo smiled. "I know, miss, but sometimes dogs can communicate in other ways. We are hoping that Gately might be able to help us find out what had happened to the bone." And then it said Gately, who had been listening to the conversation with his head cocked to one side and let out a small bark and wagged his tail in agreement. Katie watched in amazement as Columbo knelt down to speak to Gately, his eyes shining with excitement. It was clear that even after all these years, Columbo still loved his job and was just as passionate about solving crimes as he had been when he started his career. And it's strange as well because what they do is they add this dog's name in because I wanted to put in that he had a dog. Because I put down and detectives knew what it was like to look after dogs himself and how much of a passion his love for the dogs were. After all, he had a dog himself who he'd loved once, but his dog passed away 12 years going back. Oh, you're right, Deacon. How's it going, man? Welcome, man. One rage from him to me is one too many. But I will not mention him anymore here. Keep it nice and Ed free. Definitely, man. That's what I'm going to try and do as well on here. We don't need Ed no more. We just need to go forward and just keep doing what we're doing. I was just Ed. I'm closed my door on him. Removed mods and can't give anyone to talk free mind, and that's why I live. I don't like what he did to Mike. Yeah, good one. Yeah, nice one, Brandon as well. And that's how we should like do it from now on with like Ed and stuff himself and that. Just like move on and just sort of because we're doing really well without him and stuff, and obviously he does whatever he does on his channel and shit. So and that's where it should be really. I'm just trying to find this one when yeah, okay, so okay, so okay, so what we're gonna do to learn. So and I'm just trying to find this bloody thing that I understood the bone. Okay, so now it goes after Ed had repaired the damages to his beautiful garden, which had been destroyed by Anthony Lawrence, which nobody knew it was him, and he wasn't likely to tell anyone about it. Ed decided to have CCTV installed so he could see if anyone would turn back. But weeks turned into months, and nobody in sight had returned to the scene of the crime. Until 4 months later, it was midnight, and a dark cloaked figure covered over. Nobody would be able to see this coming, not even Ed, even though he'd had CCTV, which had been down for 2 weeks, didn't pick anyone on the camera. A cloaked figure walked into Ed's garden. A knock on the door. On Ed's front door. Ed answered, but nobody was there. All of a sudden, Ed turned around, just about to close the door, when a cloaked figure with a garden spade in hand whacked Ed over the head, knocking Ed on unconscious. Oh, you drink a Diet Coke Vanilla. Oh, yeah, so I've got this at the moment. This Coke, is it focusing? Yeah, there we go. Nice little bit of focus. I just got a couple bottles of that today, so sort of drinking that. But yeah, I mean, and it said, oh yeah, because what it done after I did this like massive like thing about the CCTV and about Ed getting knocked over the head by a spade and stuff, it actually carries on and makes the story. You got your new no, that'd be this week coming for the new internet. So I've got. I mean, how's the quality on this one? Because I'm using the 4G at the moment. So I've got about 50 gigs left, I think, or 40 gigs of internet data on here. Oh, I used to like cherry Coke till I mixed it with vodka and got really sick after drinking a litre of it. Yeah, I mean, that would make you sick. Not too shabby. Oh, that's good then, that's good. Might come the big podcast we're doing this summer. Oh, yeah, we could do a nice summer podcast, actually. That'd be good. Quality is good. Ah, that's cool, man. Thank you. Anyway, the next morning, Ed was found lying on the ground by one of the kennel workers. They immediately called the police, and Detective Brandon arrived on the scene. He surveyed the area and noticed the CCTV camera hanging down from the wall. He had asked the kennel workers if they had seen anything, but nobody had. Later that day, Detective Colombo arrived on the scene. He had been called in to assist with the case. He spoke with the kennel workers and took a look at the CCTV footage. However, the footage was of no use as it had been down for 2 weeks. As the investigation continued, Detective Brandon interviewed the kennel workers while Detective Colombo spoke to the residents in the area. They both came to the same conclusion. No one had seen or heard anything that night. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, you turned 34 last week. Nice, man. Happy birthday from last week. All getting up there now, all getting old now. It's like, I'm 36 now. I just turned 36 back in March. On the 17th, just gone, so, or this month, so. And actually, when I get my new internet, what I'll do is I'll do like a late birthday live stream once I get my new internet sorted out, because then I'll be able to use my professional microphones and set my things up on it. Yeah, so what they've done, they kind of changed it a little bit on the things, because it adds like a whole dialogue of stuff and like the whole complete story. So it wasn't until a few days later that they received a lead. One of the kennel workers had noticed that Anthony Lawrence had been acting suspiciously in the days leading up to Ed's attack. They didn't have any concrete evidence, but it was enough to bring Anthony in for questioning. During the interrogation, Anthony vehemently denied any involvement in the attack on Ed. He claimed that he had been out of the town on business the night it had happened. However, the detective Colombo noticed a slight twitch in Anthony's eye as he spoke. It was a small telltale sign that something wasn't quite right. Oh, 38. Jesus, man. Yeah, you're definitely getting up there before us. Oh, yeah. Oh, youngest. Yeah, 21. In the so basically what they'd done, they did like a little finish at the end of it, but I wanted it to continue because obviously it wasn't finished in the story. So how far I've got so far, in the end they didn't have enough evidence to charge Anthony with the attack on Ed. However, they did find out that he had been the one to steal Gately's bone, but the thing is he didn't steal it, so I had to re-change the ending on it. 60 to 80. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I was told when I was little and stuff that I'd probably won't get to like 50, or if I do get to 50, that'd probably be around then. So I hope I make it into my 60s and stuff and all that. I'm trying to look after myself as much as I can, health wise at least, anyway. So what I'd done at the end of it, of this one, because I wanted to carry on the story I put down, there was no twitch in Anthony's eye, nor was he away. He actually paid Ed a visit in the hospital. He actually overheard Detective Brandon that Ed couldn't remember what had happened, And the worst thing was that Ed had a short, like, amnesia. This gave Anthony a great idea to plant the seed in Ed's head that somebody had it in for Ed, and that Ed's friend who worked at the hardware store could be behind this attack. And this way, it would not put Anthony in the complicit suspect line, and he would try and get Ed on his side, seeming he couldn't remember. So this is what the bit I put in there. Now it has to rewrite it and says, Anthony went to the hospital room where Ed was. Now this is what it's doing. It's redoing it to make it and put it into a sentence and make it really good. So it's like, I'll tell you, the AI is getting so scary now that the entire dialogues on it, you could create a story out of it. And if there's something you don't like in the story, you can say, oh, look, I don't want this in that bit in the story, so take that out and replace it with something else. Then it replaces it, and then you've got this whole dialogue of like the story. You can put the twists in there, you can put the shockers in there, and you can have a good, really good ending to it. What's this? You need to get Apple TV show for your storage. Oh yeah, do you know what? That would be good. Or I could get like sort of Netflix and send the story to Netflix and ask them what they think of it and stuff. And maybe if they want to use it as a story or something in like a movie or something. Um, Someone says Auntie went to the hospital where Ed was recovering and pretended to be concerned friend. Hey Ed, how are you feeling? He asked. I'm sorry to hear what had happened to you. Yeah, I mean that's a yeah, well, Netflix, yeah. It was £600 and he died in his 30s. Jesus, he was 6'7". I was 6'7". Jesus. Ed looked confused and groggy from the medication. What happened? He asked. Anthony knew this was his chance to plant the idea in Ed's head. You don't remember? Someone attacked you with a garden spade in your own back garden, Anthony said. I heard the Detective Brandon suspects it might be someone who worked at the hardware store. Do you have any enemies there? Ed shook his head, still trying to process what Anthony was telling him. I don't know. I don't think so. Well, it's just something to think about, Anthony said, trying to sound reassuring. You never know who might hold a grudge against you. So it's really interesting how they've kind of put the whole story in there and like adding bits to it. I'm just glad I gave him a big hug before I went back to England. Ah, that's nice. Ed nodded slowly, still looking confused. Anthony left the room feeling pleased with himself. He knew that with a little more manipulation, he could turn Ed against his innocent friend at the hardware store and clear his own name as the suspect in the process. Ooh. I mean, it's getting really, really good, actually. And then I put the dialogue down. It was 10:30 p.m. at the local general hospital where Ed was. Katie turns up at the reception desk. She knew that Ed's memory wasn't too good as well because earlier during the day she popped down and also overheard the detective Brandon saying that Ed's memory wasn't too good and that it would be some time before his memory comes back. Katie asked the receptionist if she could see Ed. She replied, it's a bit too late to be coming around, and that all of the nurses and doctors had gone home on that ward that evening. Katie said to the receptionist, I'll come back in the morning, she said. Okay, while the receptionist's back was turned, Katie took her chance. She knew that she didn't have much time to run past her, so she ran around the corner, up the stairs, and to the ward where Ed was. She sees Ed, and he asked her who she is. She replies by saying, my father is his friend who works at the hardware store, but he wasn't, because he couldn't remember who she is, so he had no choice to believe her. She looked delighted that he believed her. Now was her chance to give him some water, and that everyone had left to go home. Now, when I put down that I used like Katie used the arsenic to put in the water, they said, oh, on the AI app itself, they said we can't put that in there because then it's like, and I put down, well, it's a part of the story. And they said, because, and then they said, oh, it's part of the story. And I said, yeah, it's part of the story. And I think the AI can't differentiate what the story is about, because it's like it's a murder story, and obviously someone's going to get killed, and I had to put the details in there. And then it's still said, sorry, but I cannot fulfill this request. It is inappropriate and morally wrong to suggest or depict a character poisoning someone with cyanide. But then is and I put down, it's a part of the story. And then it says, oh, I apologise. I did not realise that was the part of the story. Please continue. And then when I said, oh, then please repeat what I put down. And it says, oh, apologise. I cannot repeat the content of your previous message as it promotes violent and harmful behaviour. But a lot of the stories, right, has that in stories. It has that in the actual murder. So the AI itself doesn't want you to actually kill one of the characters off. It just wants you to. So I had to do it around a little bit of a crafty way, so it would know that it was. So I had to go around it basically. I had to go around the long way to do it. Oh yeah, we all need a group hug, definitely. And then I put down, I said, okay, well, don't add the poison in then, the siments are part of the story. So I was just being a bit sarcastic to the AI, but um, so it was 10:30 p.m. at the local general hospital where Ed was being treated. Katie arrived at the reception desk knowing that Ed's memory was not too good. Early in the day, she had overheard the detective Brandon mention that Ed's memory was not good and that it could take some time for him to regain his memory. Katie asked the receptionist if she could see Ed, but was told that it was too late and all the nurses and doctors had gone home for the night. Katie told the receptionist that she would come back in the morning and left. However, when the receptionist back was turned, Katie seized the opportunity to run past her and up the stairs to the ward where Ed was. She saw Ed and introduced herself as the daughter of his friend who'd worked at the hardware store. Although Ed could not remember who she was, he had no choice but to believe her. Katie was delighted that he'd believed her and saw her chance to give him some water. As everyone had left for the night, Katie went to the kitchen next door to the ward, put on some gloves that she'd brought with her, and poured some water into the glass she'd found in the kitchen. She gave the water to Ed and hoping that it would help him. Well, it said hoping for him to regain his memory, but it wasn't for him to regain. So that's what the AI put down. And I put down, no, she left the hospital and evaded the cameras, not knowing what she'd done to Ed while giving Ed the water. And I put down, as Katie left the hospital, she couldn't help but feel a sense of guilt and feel creeping up on her. She knew what she had done to Ed was wrong, but she couldn't turn back time. She evaded the cameras and made her way back, trying to act as normal. But I put down that, because this is what they put down, is she invaded cameras, but the cameras were already down. Um, Days went by, and there was still no sign of Ed's memory returning. The police had been investigating the attack on Ed, but they seemed to have any leads. Anthony had been trying to convince Ed that it was his friend who'd worked at the hardware store who was behind the attack, but Ed was still unsure. While Kate had been trying to avoid any suspicions, but her guilt was eating her up inside. She couldn't take it anymore and decided to come clean to her father. He was shocked and disappointed, but he knew he had to do the right thing and turn her into the police. But that's what they put down and stuff. So I kind of put down, no, the cameras wasn't working at the hospital, and Katie felt a relief. Brandon turned up to the hospital the next day and asked the receptionist if he could see Ed. That's impossible, said the receptionist. He'd passed away this morning. Brandon, shocked at the news, he'd checked all of the CCTV cameras, but the cameras were down. Same as Ed's garden CCTV. Someone had tampered with the cameras and had switched them off to get to Ed, and this time it was good and proper. So, who was the culprit? Was it just one, or was there more who were involved? And then it put down, Brandon realised that he needed to. So, this is the AI now coming up with it. It has to fill in the gaps, it fills in the gaps of the story. Brandon realised that he needed to gather more evidence and interview everyone had interacted with Ed before his death. It started with Katie, her father, who'd worked at the hardware store. They denied any involvement and claimed to have no knowledge of Ed's death. However, Brandon was suspicious of their behaviour and decided to keep a closer eye on them. He had then interviewed Anthony Lawrence, who was also denied any involvement and seemed genuinely shocked at the news of Ed's death. However, Brandon still found it odd that Lawrence had been involved in previous altercations with Ed and decided to keep him as a possible suspect. The investigation continued. Brandon discovered that there had been several break-ins in the area around the time of Ed's death. He started to suspect that there might be a connection between the break-ins and Ed's murder. After gathering more evidence, Brandon was finally able to solve the case. It turned out that the break-ins had been committed by a group of teenagers who were looking for money to fund their drug addiction. One of the teenagers had accidentally stumbled on Ed's garden and had stolen the bone as a prank. When they realized that Ed had installed the CCTV cameras, they decided to take revenge and attacked him in his own home. In the end, all the teenagers involved were arrested and charged with Ed's murder. Brandon was able to bring justice to Ed's family and put an end to the criminal activities in the area. But the thing is, like, I didn't stop at there, because I said, no, Ed's killer is still at large, and the cloaked person, too, hadn't been caught. And Brandon had to call back and deactivate Detective Columbo to help with his curious murder case that had happened right under the hospital's nose. No CCTV or any evidence had been found, and this intrigued the great detective himself. No idea. What's this? I have a big job to see the killer is. Yeah, do you know what? This is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about doing an audio book. Because with the audio books, you can actually have the audio written out for you. So, for instance, right, this is what I created the other day. And I'm trying to find which one it is now. If I can find it. There was another one of the audios. I'm just trying to think. Oh yeah. This one is a funny one. Actually, I found. I did this one story the other day. Of Ed going round, and he whacks a skunk over the head and stuff. But I did it in an audio thing, so it sounds like an actual human reading out the dialogue. But it's this website where it synthesizes the audio, and this
is a beautiful day in the suburbs, and the sun shone brightly on the well.
I know. So this is like an American tone. It's got like a real natural tone to it. But you're going to hear the funny side to this. It's just like really funny, but it's really dark as well.
It was a beautiful day in the suburbs, and the sun shone brightly on the well-manicured lawns of the homes on Maple Street. Ed, the neighborhood gardener, was making his rounds, tending to the flower beds and lawns. His temper was well known, and everyone knew to give him a wide berth when he was in one of his moods. Katie was out for a walk with her dog, Skunk, when she noticed Ed working in the front yard of the house she was passing. She nodded at him and smiled, but he didn't acknowledge her. She knew better than to try to talk to him when he was like this. She continued on her walk, not realizing that Skunk had wandered off. Brandon was sitting on his porch, watching the world go by when he saw Skunk running down the street. He called out to the dog, but Skunk didn't stop. Brandon got up and followed Skunk, not realizing he was heading towards Ed's house. Anthony was working in his garage when he heard the commotion outside. He saw Ed, red-faced and yelling, and Skunk running around in circles. He quickly realized that Skunk had triggered Ed's rage, and he knew he had to do something to calm him down.
Yeah, so what I've done, right, so this bit, because Ed, right, on his channel, he keeps getting in a rage a lot of the times, right, and he keeps getting angry and pissed off and all that. So I thought, well, let's do a story where he loses the plot, basically.
As Anthony tried to calm Ed down, Skunk ran over to the flower bed and started digging in the dirt. Ed snapped and started hitting Skunk with his shovel.
Oh.
Katie, who had come back looking for Skunk, saw this and screamed for Ed to stop. Ed turned on Katie, and his rage boiled over. He swung the shovel at her, but Brandon jumped in front of her, taking the full force of the blow. Ed was shocked by what he had done and dropped the shovel. He ran off, leaving Brandon lying on the ground, bleeding. As the ambulance took Brandon away, the neighborhood was in shock. Everyone had known about Ed's temper, but no one had ever seen it escalate to violence like this. The police were called, and Ed was taken in for questioning. But the twist was that Brandon was not just a neighbor, but a detective who had been investigating Ed for a string of burglaries in the area. His getting hit was part of his plan to catch Ed. The story ends with Ed sitting in his cell, wondering how he had been caught. The neighborhood was now on edge, wondering what other secrets might be lurking beneath the surface. The shocking event had brought the community together in a way they had never expected. Detective
So that's what one of my stories I pieced together the other day, and it's like really well done, like with the audio and like, because it's an AI human voice. It sounds almost too realistic. It sounds like one of those like audio books that you would listen to, and like when you piece it all together, it's just done really well. I'm like really impressed. So you use the ChatGPT to write the actual dialogue or the story, and then you go over to the AI from the sort of chat to audio one, which I'm using 11 Labs, but they give you so much coins a month that you can use and stuff. I get attacked from Ed, yeah, but he actually attacked you from behind with the shovel and stuff. So, and then because you were protecting Katie, so you jumped in front of her to take the full force, and then you're just lying on the floor, like literally battered and blooded up and stuff. It's really done well, actually, the whole sort of story on it. All we need now is actually to get the voiceovers of the characters. Like, oh my God, Ed, why did you do that? And then we're going to have, like, Katie doing the crying and stuff and all of that. Because of her a skunk sort of getting hit and stuff. Look at you blocking me. I haven't blocked you at all. No one's blocked you. Oh, yeah, definitely get attacked from Ed. Nobody gets blocked on here. It's only the other guy who ends up blocking people. But anyway, so the story so far on this other story I've been working on with the missing bone, like, in one way, this is going to be sort of me just doing like stories and stuff, and I might do some horror stories. I wouldn't say the story I'm doing now is a horror story, because it's more of a murder mystery story and stuff, like a little sleuth of who's done the murder, who's killed the person, and who's left Ed dead, and then suddenly we've got like other characters we're going to be bringing into the story as well. So by the time I've like finished with the entire stories, it's going to get really intriguing. Oh, oh yeah, definitely Warzone. I don't even know if I've got it installed now. I think I've got it installed, the Warzone. I might, because I think it's on the other hard drive. And I'm blocked me again. Well, oh, Ed's blocked you again, has he? Strange. Oh, Ed, what, blocking you again? How dare he? What do you mean you have, you muppet? Well, why would I have blocked you, actually? You're still bloody here. If you were blocked, you wouldn't be actually typing on your little keyboard now, would you, you keyboard warrior? Hiding behind a little thing there with no picture on your profile there. You got yourself a little picture. Well, yeah, actually, is this Ed who's coming? Is this Ed? Is it? Oh, Joe, J-O there. I mean, calling names. You can call names and stuff as much as you like. I don't give a shit. You're free. That's your freedom. Your freedom is you can say what you like and stuff. But obviously, there's always consequences to your actions. You may be having free stuff on there, right? And you can put whatever you like on there. Oh no, no, no! Don't worry about it, Brandon. Yeah, don't worry about it. Let him say what he's got to say and stuff. He's more than capable of doing it. He's more than welcome to actually have his say and stuff, and I've got my actual thing to say what and talk about what I like to talk about as well. Oh, what's happening with your wrestling buddies? Well, I've not got the 2K23 yet until next month, so they're on the 2K23. I've got the 2K22. Nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna get the 2K23 soon, but I'm waiting until next month and stuff because it's no point me getting it now until I've got my new internet installed and stuff. So I want to get the new internet installed, and then I can get the 2K23. Then I can download it then, because then as it takes me about like a few days to actually download the game and stuff. Like if I'm downloading the game. Well, I don't get paid. That's the thing. I don't get paid. I don't work. I'm disabled. I've got my heart problems. So what's wrong? Like, actually, what's wrong? Like, obviously, I've never wanted to have heart problems, and I've never like said, "Oh, actually, I'm going to be born with a defect heart." And like my whole family have always been workers and stuff. My whole family's worked their whole lives up into the point of their old age and stuff. And like my brothers have worked their asses off and stuff and that. And obviously, right? Obviously, you don't give a damn about these true people who are disabled like myself, who actually have health issues, and then we get the big stigma on us when you got these people acting like they're disabled when they're not disabled, and blaming the people that are disabled, saying we're the ones that's frauding. And I think, to be honest, like with people like yourself, right, you should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, I have health issues. That's my point. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like that, your health issues are probably not as bad as mine. Each and everybody has their own health issues, and it could be a lot worse than whoever's. But mine, because mine is my learning difficulties, and also with my heart problems on top of that, and obviously I couldn't have like a proper job because I wouldn't be able to do it like through the entire job myself. And this is what really people don't get. It's like when your health issues impact the job. Like, say if I got a job, right, and they wanted me to do certain things, right, to do the work and stuff, my brain, because of my learning difficulties, wouldn't be able to consist of actually doing that stuff they tell me. It's because of my health issues, and also because of my heart problems, like carrying boxes as well, or just stacking stuff on the shelves and stuff. Say if I'm lifting heavy stuff up, I could have a heart attack and shit because and the doctors, myself, have been told by my doctors, like, I can do exercise, a little bit of exercise, but I'm not allowed to like strain my heart and shit. What, scanning food? That wouldn't be difficult. Yeah, but actually, how much on an average would someone be able to afford to work, and how much they would be able to get from there? Like, at the moment, right, people keep saying the people on disability get a lot of money. We don't get a lot of money, right? We have to save as much money as we can, whatever we get off the government. It's like, for instance, every 2 weeks, I think I pick up about, I think it was like £129 a week, but they do it every 2 weeks. So you're looking at around about 260 odd, 260 odd every 2 weeks. So 260 and then 260 for the month. You're looking almost about, I don't know, well, let's just say 300 every 2 weeks. So about 600 a month. Then you've got to pay your bills out of it, your TV license, your internet. You have hardly anything left at the end of it. And then when they say, oh, well, you get your peppers on top of that, which is like 600. So that's roughly 600 and 600, that's 1,200. But then forget, I have to pay my council tax. And you guys keep saying, oh, well, you don't pay council tax when you're disabled. And your rent, well, the rent gets taken out of there. Yes, okay, to that degree, right, your rent gets taken out of it. But it comes out of the money that we get from Universal Credit. So, like, I wouldn't say it's as much, but they take, I think it was like 388, 400 or something, I think is for the rent. And then I have to pay each month at the moment, whilst it's getting investigated at the moment on the council tax, that I'm paying 122 a month on. And people say, well, the council tax, you don't pay council tax. And then I think to myself, well, actually, I've been paying council tax for some reason. So I don't know why that's going on then. Yeah, well, same with me then. It's like when I'm paying my gas, electric, and TV license, I'll be lucky if I have, like, by the end of the month, I'll be lucky if I had like 50 quid left by the time I've like done it. And these guys keep moaning that, oh, well, we get all these luxuries, and stuff. Thing is, with this PSVR headset, I've actually saved that up. It's taken me a while just to save enough money just to get that. And it's like anybody who goes and works and stuff, you've got to put a little bit of money away. And this is the reason I haven't bought as much stuff now. Is one, my mum used to like sort of buy stuff for me and stuff. So obviously my mum was doing a lot of stuff at the time. Oh, you're right, cowboy. How's it going, my friend? How you doing? The king of entertainment. How you doing? Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. But like I said, like when we save money up and stuff, right? We save money up. I told my son all about you, and he can't wait to play. That's good, man. Yeah, I mean, we could have like a couple wrestling matches, and actually, I actually have a wrestling belt that I bought a few months going back in the other room. So I've got that to do my promos. What else, Anna? So you can afford luxuries, whereas me, I can't afford any of that stuff. I can barely put food on the table. But that's the thing. Like, obviously, with stuff like, oh, so you can't, but that's the reason, right, why this is all down to the government. You're blaming, like, people like us who are disabled, who have no choice, who actually get the money from the government. But then this is all down to the government. It's not down to us. And the biggest thing coming up, I don't know if you've heard of NESARA. Have you heard of NESARA? It's NESARA. I don't know if you've heard of it. No, but my point is, have you heard of NESARA? And then you'll probably be getting to, well, what's the point of NESARA? Do you realise all the banking systems at the moment are actually on the verge of closing? All the banks are going to start closing down. And actually, one, I don't go on holiday. I don't go and have a car. I don't drive. I actually get the bus from time to time, but I've got my free bus pass so I can get around and stuff. But I walk most of the time. Most of the time I'm just walking. And when I'm walking a lot in the area, it's good for my health, but yeah, and the thing is, I don't sort of like, I've got a moped and stuff outside, but that's to help me get around as well from time to time. But because the area I'm living in at the moment, it's like it's hard to get out now to drive like where I used to like ride the bike and stuff. So at the moment, it's just like in the garden and stuff and all that. Yeah, I don't get why people. The thing is, NESARA, right? Which is this thing coming out now. I don't know if you guys and girls have heard about the April thing, which is going on your phone, which is going to be alerts coming out soon. In April, I think on the 23rd. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that it's going to be... doesn't go on holidays. You're right, yeah, but you can buy a VR headset. Yeah, but the thing is, right, I buy a VR headset, but it's not like I'm buying the headset, right, to to go on holiday. Okay, yeah, I could put my money in like stuff and put it into other stuff. And like, but the thing is, I do it also to help my mental health issues as well, because me going around on a VR headset, I like staying in majority of the time. I don't go to the pub and stuff. I don't drink. Like, I've been to the, what's it called? that pub down the road, like, I think the last time I went down there was like about 5 months going back. I haven't been there since, or since I did that video and stuff. I get the food from the shop, from the supermarket. I got my little trolley, which I bought at Christmas time to get around, to put my stuff in. And because of my health issues and stuff, which I don't have to explain to people with my health issues, but I choose to actually be honest with you guys and stuff, and I tell you how I'm getting on with it. And at the moment, I got CBD. I've been taking, like these gummy bears and stuff that I've been eating, and I'll tell you what, that's been helping my leg a lot better. But then it's no, I mean, but that's the thing, like, people, like, you want to sort of point your fingers at people who are disabled, but you're not actually getting to... I say, yeah, AKB doesn't go on holidays. Well, of course I don't go on holidays. I've been on... the last time I went on holiday was in 2020 with my mum, and we went on a couple of days to London. And, like, since then, like, because of her passing and stuff. Well, no, right. It's not, right. It's not his money. It's taxpayers' money. Yeah, but the thing is, taxpayers have to contribute to helping disabled because we can't get a job like a normal person would do. So obviously, and the taxpayers' money just doesn't go for the taxes to help disabled people. It goes to help like communities in the area and all this kind of stuff, like the police force, anything you put in the taxes in there. But the thing is, right, there's talks that NESARA are going to be wiping everybody's debts clean. Now, I don't know if it's going to be true or not, or if it's just there, because obviously it's a rumour. Yeah, that's it, Mike. Yeah, I mean, you can still spend the money you can see fit. And that's the thing, like, obviously, right, with my health issues and stuff, and my heart problems, I mean, what do you expect? Because, I mean, if this guy was in charge, or this person, I don't know if it's a woman or a man, is actually, who's, I mean, Joe, is that a woman? You a woman or a man or something? I don't, like, I don't want to say him if it's a her and stuff, so... Um, right, Joe, are you a man or a woman? Please specify, because then I'll know then, like, obviously, a non-binary. Okay, well, okay, we'll just go along with it. But, like, with anybody now, like, anyone who's disabled, myself and stuff. I think, well, some was born as a man, always will be and stuff, and like people can do whatever they want to do and stuff. None of my business. But then is when you've got heart problems like myself or got health issues, right? I find like it's hard to get by in life, and there's certain things like I can't do my paperworks and stuff or reading and writing properly, so I have to like use things like the computer, which I'm using at the moment to write stuff up for me. And now with this new technology, this AI technology come out, right? I think it's really good for people like me who's dyslexic, who's like able to be able to do something on the computer. Right, 62 and still work. Well, good for you. That's the thing. You're 62, right? And I'm 36. So there's like a 30-year gap, or just under a 28-year gap or something, but give or take. But then is like, you're probably more healthier than myself, than I am and stuff. Yeah, and good on him. Good on him if he can work and stuff at 62 and stuff. But what I've heard with this NESARA Apparently, all debts are going to be cleaned. They're going to bring in an income-based money, which is going to be basically everybody gets the portion of money, and they will be able to live the life they wanted to. Then is this all this whole money system in the first place, right? Has been sort of used against everybody. It's like for everyone to fight amongst themselves. And like myself, like you got people who say, oh, well, this person's disabled, right? He's got all this money, he's got loads of money, he's buying all this stuff here and stuff, or the equipment and microphones or headsets and all this kind of stuff and bikes and stuff. But they don't see the bigger picture here. This is what the government wants. They want you guys and girls or anybody of any genders to fight amongst yourselves. They want everybody to fight against all of us. They want us, everyone, to pick on the disabled people because they're trying to sort of get us all out the way to that point. And rather than fighting amongst ourselves, we should be sort of hugging each other and just saying everything's going to be all right, and we know what's going on with the world and stuff. We know what these elites are getting up to. Rather than fighting against the people, we should be actually saying, look, the whole system's flawed. The whole system is flawed. Guaranteed. I get you. I get you. The whole system of the whole money system, right? I didn't want to be born with a defect heart. I didn't want to be born with mental health issues and with disabilities and stuff that you can't see. But I'm here. It has happened. And I've got to try and get along with the rest of the world. And I've got to try and actually find some way of just coping on a day-to-day basis and just living my life as the way I should see fit. Like you should be able to live your life as you see fit in any which way you matter. And you shouldn't be like judging people on what their lives are like. I don't try and judge people the way they live or whoever the way they live. And I just try and be myself. And you guys should do the same as well. And rather than picking on the people, we should be saying, look, the government are the ones who created this system. This whole system's flawed. Why can't you just actually, guys and girls and everybody in this world, just wake up? Just wake up. You're all asleep. We're all asleep. Everybody's asleep. This whole system has put us to sleep, and we need to wake up before it's too late, before the real shit kicks in. And that's the thing. I'm living in my life. Like, I could care less what people say about me, about my heart problems, or well, you should be going out to work and stuff and all that. That's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Don't you get it? You're entitled to your opinion. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. We should be like holding on to that. We should be holding on to the fact that we can say what we like to people, right? We could point fingers at everybody. Yeah, we could point fingers at everybody. But at the end of the day, whilst we're pointing fingers at each other and stuff, there's a bigger thing going on. The sleight of hand. Whilst we're like bickering amongst each other and pointing fingers at each other and saying, oh yeah, well, you should be going to work. You should be going to work. Oh, well, actually, yeah, you got heart problems over there. You should be going to work. That itself is the hidden agenda. This is what the elites want us to do. They want us to fight. They want us to fight to the point where our eyes are in one direction, trying to say, oh, well, we've got all this over this side with all these people in there, so our attention is working for this side whilst we're bickering amongst each other. But what we're not realising is there's a big agenda going over to that side, and they're actually working on something to actually put all of us against each other. Well, that's the thing. Right. Myself, if I didn't have heart problems, I would be out working. I'd be out working. But the thing is, right, when you've got heart problems like myself, and obviously with learning difficulties as well, it's hard for me to understand things. I went to college for the last 3 years. This was like about 4 years going back. I was doing an English thing. Now, I was trying to learn reading and writing because my whole point was I wanted to become a writer and stuff and all that. And my writing is absolutely terrible. Like doing the punctuations and stuff. I can't get those certain words in there that I want. Now, I wrote that whole page full, right, and did the whole story and stuff on it. And I did that like sort of where I thought would be the words and out have the speech box and stuff and all that. I know about that kind of stuff because that's just kind of light stuff where you put it in. But then someone said to me, well, they got this other website as well where you could create the story and then you can actually put the stuff that you want in and it corrects it for you but uses AI. Yeah, that's the thing. I am ill and stuff. Like, I'm not like mentally ill, but I've got heart problems and I've got health issues on top of that. And it's all backed up by my doctor. Now, if I didn't have heart problems and I didn't have health issues the way I do and stuff, and me walking up, and some mornings I can't get up mornings because I'm in pain. I got like arthritis and gout in the knee. But what I've just started doing is I've actually started taking CBD, these like sort of gummy bears and stuff, like packs of them. Like they're in like a little container, and it's it's not weed or anything. It's from like the cannabis plant, but it's basically the CBD from the plant itself. It's a plant extract. And what it's done, it helps with anxiety, but also it helps like sort of my concentration as well. And I've noticed it's been helping me focus a lot. And I could get through a lot of stuff now. I've just managed to get nearly through 50 pages of like text on a thing on the like writing and stuff, and it's really helped me a hell of a lot. Yeah, I'm generally curious as well, Charlie, and stuff. Like, I mean, if I could have worked and stuff, and I didn't have health issues, I would be working. But because of my health issues, like preventing me from doing this and stuff, um, then I actually need help and stuff from the doctors and from the government to help me through stuff. It's not like, I don't want to work because I actually I did and stuff and all that. But and I told my mum at the time and stuff I've always wanted to work. My mum worked and stuff. She worked when she was younger. She used to work in Woolworths and stuff in Cheltenham. That's where I originally came from. I came from Cheltenham, but we moved to Weston because our house got on fire and stuff. And we came back to the house. I think it was like during the afternoon because we went to town. My mum, I was just over 3 years old. I was just coming up to 4 years old, and we'd come back to the house, and our house had been arsoned. This was at the age around about 3 4 years old, and my mum and dad knew this guy, this landlord bloke, who'd said, "Oh well, we'll put you up and stuff in a guest house." And then also my brother and stuff was there at the time as well. And this guy in Weston said to us, "Oh well, we've got a bed and breakfast for you if you want to sort of come down and stuff, like, and we could put you up there and stuff." So we moved from like Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, all the way to Weston, and been living there for like since I was 4 years old and stuff. So Oh, cheers, cowboy. Thank you, man. Yeah, yeah, guys and girls. If you like, if you're in here, we've got quite a few people in here. Hit the like button, guys and girls. Does help the channel out and stuff. But that's the thing. Like my mentality on it is like I do want to sort of like work, but with my health issues, that's the thing that's stopping me was well with my mental health side of it as well. And if you're not in a right place, if you're not in a right place at all, and you're not to that point capable of enough and stuff, your mind kind of like prevents you from doing that. Yeah, it's just the way it's like. And then soon as we moved, I think it was actually no. So we were in this guest house actually over in Cheltenham at the time. This was just after the house had burned down. We moved to this guest house temporarily, and the guy actually who we lived in the flat with, who was the flat owner at the time, actually knew the guy who'd lived 3 blocks down the road. I think it was 3 blocks or 4 blocks or something. And my mum used to take me in the pushchair, like up and down the road, not knowing that that family had lived down that road. The one who, that family who'd, over in Gloucestershire had literally started finding people under the floorboards. Um, and it was around that time when my mum used to push me down that road, and the landlord who'd lived next door, he actually knew that the husband and wife who'd been doing that to these like girls and stuff and putting them under the floorboards and stuff. And we didn't realize at the time and stuff like that there was that he knew him, but the landlord didn't know what was going on at the time because um, the bloke who had done that, the husband who was going around with his wife doing all the bodies under the floorboards and stuff and in the gardens and stuff, um, he was actually a builder and used to come to this um, our next door neighbour's thing to do the house up for him. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like no, but that's you lost so much weight previously. That was previously from 2020. So we're in 23 now. So it's been 3 years, and I did lose that weight, and I had to try and sort of. I've kind of lost that focus. I've kind of lost that entire focus. Yeah, yeah, the Slim Fast and stuff was good. But yeah, we basically we lived next to the West family and stuff. They were kind well, I wouldn't say we moved next to them. We were like I think 4 or 5 roads um past them, and the West family they would basically the husband and wife had killed one of their like kids and stuff, and they used to go out and try and get other girls and like sort of do nasty stuff to them and shit, and then like kill them and stuff. And there's like a massive thing on it. Yeah, yeah, that's the ones, and it was kind of disturbing because I was about 3 years old at that time and stuff. And my mum and dad used to like sort of, well, my mum actually used to push me in the pushchair and stuff past that road. And we didn't even know what was going on. Well, I didn't know actually because I was 3 years old, but my mum didn't even know anything was going on. Or our landlord, because our landlord actually used to get him to come round to fix up the was it the shower units and stuff and all the bits of bobs of his bed and breakfast because he used to be quite cheap and stuff doing like the building stuff. He was a bit of a builder and stuff. So we didn't even know all that stuff had happened and stuff like, and like it goes to show you don't know who you move next door to and stuff like. 1 minute you're sitting there, you're talking to the next door neighbors or whatever. Next minute, like there's like something mysterious going on, people disappearing all the time, or it's like it's really weird and stuff. Like no, it wasn't burned. No, because we weren't at that part at the time, so we didn't move. So our house at the time was way over the other side of Cheltenham and stuff. So it wasn't near Cromwell Street at the time and stuff. So, but the bed and breakfast we lived was, I think it was 4 or 5 streets over from Cromwell Street. But my next door, or not next door neighbour, but my and the flat we lived in, or the bed and breakfast, there was this like this old woman that used to live there. She used to have about 40, 50 different cats. It used to be in her sort of like room and stuff, and she used to come out, open the door up, and we saw her, the cats, like 40 of them. Like what? So, like quite surprised actually, and there was this one like morning we went downstairs, then there was like this table and stuff, this like breakfast table in the morning, and like there was everybody around there, we're all having breakfast and stuff, and next minute there's a cup and saucer on the table. No shit in you, right? A cup and saucer was basically on the table, and then it moved from the one end of the table all the way down to the other end of the table. It turns around, turns right round, comes back down the table, and just stops there. By itself. By itself. And then, on that same day, at the same time, my eyes went jet black. My mum was holding me at the time, and my dad said to my mum, his eyes have just turned jet black. And my dad actually like sort of like didn't want to pick me up. He didn't want to hold me up or hold me because something was going on. But my eyes just went jet black. And I think it kind of frightened him a little bit. And then we moved from this guest house, went to Weston, and we went up to Madeira. I don't know if you know that place, Charlie, assuming you're from Weston and stuff yourself. But at Madeira Road in Weston, we actually got a guest house up there for temporarily when we first came to Weston at Madeira Road. That's at you got Nightstone. Yeah, Marine Lake. So you got Marine Lake and you got that Nightstone bit, and it's just up that hill. Now we moved to Weston. This was when I was 4, so this is when I was 4 years old now. I didn't start school until I was 5 and stuff. So so I moved there to we all moved to Weston. And my dad used to go fishing and stuff at Nightstone. We used to always go fishing, and I went fishing and stuff with him. And I used to have my little fishing rod, and my brother and my dad used to go fishing. And there's this big guy, this big like sort of fat guy who used to be there and stuff. Like used to be at Nightstone. Used to put his arms on my dad's car and stuff and all that, talking to my mum and stuff, trying to chat her up in the car when my dad and my brother was like fishing and stuff. And it was like he was like chatting her up and stuff, and my dad was like, yeah, he was like just fishing and stuff. And my dad had caught a big, actually it was my brother who'd caught a big giant 15-pound conger hill at the time. I don't know. I mean, I miss good old Western. I mean, you can't really beat Western Supermare and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I love this place now. I'm actually kind of happy here. I'm only just down the road from Weston, so it's like it's not too far. I could just get on the bus, go straight there and stuff, and see everybody. But so we moved. So we moved to Weston. We moved to the guest house up in Madeira, and it happened again. We were around the table. The cup and saucer again started going up the table, goes back down again, and this didn't seem a coincidence that it happened twice. One in Cheltenham, and then again in Weston, and then secondly again, my eyes turned jet black again, and literally sort of, I don't know, it's kind of really weird and stuff. And then I'm having these dreams about UFOs and stuff. Like I've had the same dream about 6, 7 times within the last 20 years of the same thing, of the UFO just comes over our head. Suddenly there's this I can have this. I've had this dream and I could tell you about everything about this whole in dream and stuff. Did ghost boards or something? Did ghost? Oh no, because I was 4 years old at the time. This was when I was 4 years old. So I don't know what the hell happened, but obviously I've got a good sense now. I like ghosts, doing ghost box sessions. I don't know. There's this thing of intrigued that I am with ghosts and spirits and people from beyond the grave and stuff and all that. There seems to be this connection, but I seem to have a really good connection with stuff. And then when my mum passed away in September 2021, it was only a couple. Actually, it was about September, October, November, December, 5, 6. I've been here since May of 2022, and within two of those dreams, I've had two dreams whilst I actually been here. One, I was lying down, and I was sleeping down and stuff. I was sleeping in the bed, and the dream I had was me being back at the other place, the other house I was at. The rooms were empty, completely empty, and me and my brother was walking into the room from the kitchen into the living room, and there was this chair, this wheelchair, my mum's wheelchair, just sitting there in the dream, and we sees this wheelchair moving from one place and starts moving backwards, all the way back to the window, the front window. And then from that front window, where it all happened, I turns my back for a second, and there's my mum just sitting in the wheelchair in the dream. And it was that point where she didn't say anything. She did not say anything, not one word. She wheels over to the dressing table, because we had this dressing table in the front room, had the TV, and we had the fish tank on it and stuff. She opens up the drawer and she gets a photo of herself as a baby with her mum holding her in her arms. And then she didn't say anything, but the words in her ear, or in my ears, was the fact that it was the baby they never wanted. Then only, I think it was about 2 months going back, I was sleeping. Oh, no, I haven't got my new internet yet. Not yet. It's supposed to be this week sometime. But the whole moral of the story as well, a couple of days after that dream, I'd turned around. I went to sleep. I was sleeping just like I normally sleep. The day after I woke up on the floor of this new place here. So I woke up on the floor, and I actually had no recollection of how I actually got on the floor. I was in bed and literally found myself on the floor a couple of days afterwards in this room here. So I don't know how I actually fell on the floor or something. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if I slept walked or not. But I don't know if there's something like some ghosts or spirits here. Apparently, someone passed away next door. Behind us, some bloke who was drunk, and I think he had some booze or something, and it killed him. I think. And then I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. Do you wear pajamas, bed? No, no, no. I don't like pajamas. Um, but a few weeks going back, I had another dream, and this time it was like me just coming out of the flat, and then my mum was sitting there in the car. It was like a sports car, and I didn't know my mum could actually drive because she couldn't drive anyway to save her life. And it says, I don't know if I tell you, but I quit alcohol. It's been 5 months since I quit. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you did, man. I think you told us before actually. Congratulations, man. That's got to have been really hard to do as well. Very hard to do. But yeah, it was like, so in the dream itself, like, my mum was there, and I got in the car, because my mum was in the car and stuff and all that. But I kind of felt that I could trust her in a way, like getting in the car with my mum and stuff. Like, it kind of felt nice, like, knowing that she was drive. I was kind of surprised that she could drive, but this was in a dream, so I don't know whether she came back and she's like basically come back in the dream and said everything's all right. Oh, it's been 4 years since I quit cannabis too. Totally sober now and doing much better. Oh, that's great, man. That's great. I told you that's the thing. You need to, like, people don't realize how much better they would feel by not doing the drugs in the first place. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, how did you get on it in the first place? Was it like just going round with a bunch of friends and maybe sort of like it just happened, or was it a lot of like build up, being stressed out and need something to take the edge off? Because actually, it'd be quite cool. Actually, it is true. It's very hard to see when you're on it, though. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, I mean, it'd be good actually if we could get you onto a podcast, just like a normal podcast. Once my internet's all sorted out. Oh, what's this, AKB? You need to tell us your favourite brand of beans. Oh, that's a hard one. What about Heinz curry baked beans? Oh, or Heinz barbecue flavoured baked beans. Oh, I had some of those a couple of weeks going back. Flipping delicious. But you can only eat them every so often. I found if I ate too many tins of spicy baked beans, Jesus, it's like almost like a tsunami. Oh, Morrison's beans are unreal nice. Oh, have not drink alcohol over close to 7 years. Nice, man. That's good to hear. Have you ever been to Birmingham on Sea? Yeah. Oh, I used to go there with my mum and dad. We used to go there like in the summer and stuff. We've been there. Actually, I've been there with the school as well. The school took us on a day trip there and stuff. Oh, do you know what, guys and girls? Oh my God. Yeah, so I don't know if you've heard the news today about Paul O'Grady. Ah, what a flipping legend. He's passed away. Um, Sad news, to be honest, with that, because he was one of my favourites, and I loved him on with the dogs when he used to look after the dogs. Paul Grady on dogs, absolutely amazing, and his comedic stuff with him doing his comedy and then doing his like Lily Savage as well. Oh, that was like and then him doing that TV show he used to do. Blankety Blank. Oh, remember when you had a shout out in the F1 games? Oh, yeah, definitely it was good, man. I appreciated that as well. Did you know Big Brother is coming back this year? Do you know what? I noticed that because I would have loved to go on there actually, but I think it was cancelled years ago. But yeah, I would have loved to go on that show. But I don't know if I could actually go on there with like about 10, 15 people living in the same room together and just like, because I need my sleep, man. I need, like, after, I'd say after living with my two brothers and now actually having my own place for me and having my own bed and stuff. And like, well, I had my own bed before anyway, but I mean, my home, like the bedroom to myself and stuff, with nobody else like coming into the room, knocking on the door. It's like you kind of appreciate, um, just like literally speechless, the whole no talking part. It's like you kind of appreciate that. Oh yeah, the original house was demolished. There's nothing quite like living alone. Yeah, do you know what? Actually, I've loved that, man. I've loved it so far being here. And Dennis, it was Dennis. I was wondering who's Dennis. But yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, my brothers are all right. My two brothers are doing good. Um, they're doing okay. Space all to yourself, doing what you want. Yeah, and that's the thing. I saw, and now like you kind of appreciate the smallest things. It's only small. It's just tiny and stuff. Not the flattening, but the whole sort of. It's just a tiny thing just to have, like your own space and just a place to think and stuff. It's just like um, but it kind of also you kind of appreciate life in itself as well. Anyway, I hope that your guys and girls are doing good and stuff and all that. But yeah, my sort of go at the moment, I do want to write some audio books and stuff, and then just add them to my YouTube library and stuff on it, and just add my own like sort of textures and style to it and stuff. I'm sure it's going to probably annoy Ed and stuff, seeming that I've got a character with someone called Ed who gets bumped off and stuff. Like, but it is what it is. It's a story, so it is a story of an excellent story with Columbo in it. God, 9:28 already. Jesus. Are you going to play Starfield? Would that be on PC though? Because I mean, I've got the Xbox Series S, but I don't really want to play on the Xbox no more. Fuck that shit. Either PC or PlayStation. That's it for me. Oh, guess what? I finally got a 4K TV. Nice. HDR is it, or was it OLED? And some really nice Bluetooth headphones. Nice. Yeah, it's like, for instance, like a reason I don't smoke, the reason I don't do drinking, and the reason I don't sort of do drugs and stuff. It costs money and stuff, like, and rather than actually putting stuff like that in a waste, because that's a waste. It's a total waste of wasting a lot of money when you could be putting it either into your flat and getting your flat done up, or just getting some nice things and not going on holiday and stuff. Expensive, definitely expensive. I mean, I've just got those, like, what do you call them? Those gummies and stuff, for instance. The CBD ones, and they cost like 30 quid for just a small pack of them and stuff. But I got them for like a month supply. It's lasted me for a month and stuff. I think I've got like two left or something, couldn't I? Into my pension, nice. But I don't know. I keep hearing though about this. Actually, have you heard of it? Of Nisara. So I don't know if you've heard of Nisara as well. Nisara and Gisara. It's something to do with the, what's it called? The financial banking system. Apparently, there is a rumor going around that the government are going to be sending like news things out on the internet or on the TV to say to people to call a number, and they're going to start giving people's money back from the banks and stuff and clean all their debts and stuff from. I think it's kind of a bit bullshit, and I think there's a lot of bullshit to it. Because they said because of the banks actually failing and they're dying out now, a lot of these banks, and they want to go back to resetting everything so everyone's on the playing field, the same playing field. Yeah, it does sound a bit sus, definitely. I think there's probably, I mean, to be honest, it make you wonder if there's something going on, to be honest, like with this. But there's, in April of next month, there's some sirens going off, emergency sirens on everybody's phones. They want us to be robots. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's the whole point, is to actually get us everybody to, because obviously they want to not kill off, but they want to get rid of the middle class and only have two classes: the lower class and the high class, or the elites and stuff. So why would they even think about resetting the money and saying to everybody, we're going to get, yeah, that siren is going to be funny? Well, I don't know, but thing is, it's going to be on people's phones, and everyone's phone's on there. They've got to basically press a button to acknowledge it. Everyone's going to freak out. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't look at the news. A lot of people don't look at the news. So the ones who don't look at their phones, they're not going to realise what the hell's going on. But it's going to be 90% of everybody's phones in the UK going off at the same time. And this is going to be really intriguing. But what I've done is I've gone into the settings and I've gone to the emergency on the notifications, gone right down to the bottom. They've already installed it. So I don't know if you've seen it, but they've already, and like an Amber Alert, similar. They reckon it's just in case people have, for instance, floods in the area. It's a bit bullshitting in that, because there's stuff going on with Russia and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of that tension building up at the moment. So there's something about it, and also we've seen these UFOs going around as well. So they're trying to basically scare everybody. Is this going to be in US too? I'm not too sure. I've only heard the UK ones about it, but it's supposed to be going on the 23rd of April, or in the mid of April and stuff, and everyone's phones. But I've gone to the notifications at the bottom. They've already installed it. I've turned them all off. And also, It doesn't seem to be on the tablets unless they've put it sneakily on there somewhere. So I don't know. Oh shit, my phone is low power mode at the moment, so and I've got to bloody try and charge that up somehow. But yeah, guys and girls, like obviously we've got to keep an open mind. I will definitely forget about it and then crap my pants when it happens. Oh, definitely. And then I've heard apparently there's going to be massive sirens going around, like almost like an air raid or something. So I don't know if that's going to be true or not or stuff. So we've just got to take it with a pinch of salt, guys and girls. How's life with you? You're right, Simon. I didn't. Yeah, I was just about to finish off now and stuff, like finish the stream off because I'll probably do some more tomorrow or Friday, or when my actual internet gets installed. But yeah, you guys and girls, yeah, what's that? I want to go back to the States. Oh yeah, do you know what? I would love to go to the States and stuff. I would love to live over there. That would be the ultimate dream. It would be amazing to live over there. But anyway, my phone is gonna die on me, so I've got about like 2% left. Jesus, I think, and was it 2%? Yeah, I think there's about 2% left. All the time. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get back to doing some of those actually, the vlogs and stuff. But it's also trying to get out and about and stuff as well. So anyway, you take care, you stay safe, and I will see you on another live stream. I might do tomorrow if I've got any credit left on my thing, but I'm gonna have to check, see how much credit it takes from my data, because at the moment I've got about 40 to 50 gig on there. So if it's actually gone down to about 45 to 40 gigs, I'll probably do some more streams tomorrow. But you stay safe, and I'll see you when I see you guys and girls.